Collective, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy for the next week via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. It's been very interesting lately. We're starting this week off with a full moon in Scorpio. Definitely kind of bringing out some of the crazy, as we do expect with full moons, but the silver lining is it is bringing in some rebalancing. We saw this with some of the readings last week, kind of as we were moving towards the full moon. We're also seeing this via the astrology, where the water and fire element are starting to balance out a little bit more. They've been super heightened, bringing in a lot of tension, a lot of frustration, a lot of emotions around situations that have not been so fun, that have kind of been pretty difficult, right? People, places, and things are being highlighted that either like aren't working with us, don't want to work with us, or are just being difficult, right? And so we're kind of weeding out some of the BS. A lot of this is because Pluto just moved into Aquarius, and it is heavily aspecting this full moon. It's also, Pluto rules Scorpio. So it's the Lord of the underworld. So it's kind of this value of like not being afraid to kind of go to those darker places, meaning the places that don't feel so good, that are bringing up a lot of stuff we don't want to deal with, not being afraid to go there, and then to actually like honor ourselves, make adjustments accordingly, not be afraid to make that change. But none of this is easy. Silver lining, as we're moving through this week, we're getting way more balance than we've seen in quite some time. It's that Taurus, earth energy. We're in Taurus season. It's really helping kind of ground out, soak up some of this BS. So that's why I like to start off with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles that we might be coming into. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just looking for more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating out of that space of alignment, when we feel strong, grounded in self, that's when we're bringing in, manifesting our happiness and abundance, right? That's like when we're making choices that actually honor who we are and makes our life way better. So I would love to help support in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from, getting burned over here. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. It's falling apart. All right, let's get into it. So, interesting week ahead. Like I said, there is a lot of silver lining, i.e. that we're finding a little bit more balance. We're finding a little bit more reprieve. As we start off the week, it's a little intense, but at the same time, it's because of all the stuff we've been going through, because of all the changes that are on the horizon, etc. Even though we're experiencing this tension, at the same time, it really is becoming that fuel to push us forward, to make the changes that are necessary. So we're not winding up in the same situations, patterning with the same people, even if it is different people, right? Like we also, part of karma is if we're leaving something behind, we really want to make sure that we're releasing, that we're letting go, processing through what was that learning lesson. Because if we don't, if we kind of lack that awareness, it makes it super easy to connect, engage with someone, something that's exactly like the old. And so it's okay. I'm sorry, I didn't even read this. Half the time I just keep talking until I pay attention. But I love that this revisit is our overarching energy this week, because as I'm saying this, there's also people, situations that are kind of coming out of the woodwork from the past. And it is forcing us to revisit some of this innate patterning. Some of the things that patterns are a huge focal point right now, because those are what dictate what we are manifesting. What we think, what we feel about ourselves is going to be directly affected in our environment. And, the full moon, as much as it gets a bad rap, it is connected to manifestation. It really is highlighting like how our quote unquote manifestations are working out for us. Are we in alignment with the things that we are asking for? Or do we need to make some adjustments accordingly? And I feel like as we are kind of seeing some of those questions, they're not necessarily the answer to those questions, but I feel like situations are bringing up those questions that we really have to evaluate, that we do have to revisit. I'm hearing like even just some of our mentality around certain things, around like what we're asking for and what that actually means. Because as much as manifesting, the law of attraction is super magical, super fun, it's also super practical. Like we also have to say like, hey, I want this. And then now I'm going to have the strength to overcome whatever hurdles are thrown my way in order to achieve it. Yeah, there's like healthy, positive ways to go about it and not so healthy ways. I don't think that like the unhealthiness is in focus necessarily this week, but what I'm seeing like in the astrology is we're getting more peace. It's not as tense. There's not as many transits. It's not, and that earth element has actually been enlivened way more. Once we hit that full moon, it's kind of on its upward trajectory. And that's because we're seeing a lot of those planets that were in Pisces start shifting into Aries and Taurus. But a lot of that is connected to how we are believing in ourselves, what we're thinking about our situations, how it's reflecting on us, what we're thinking about ourselves, and then how that's actually playing out in real time. And it's not easy because Mars has been really weirdly aspected. I feel like we just kind of want to keep moving forward without, putting a blinder to the lessons. And because a lot of this stuff, it's not fun, the people that I interact with on the daily basis, the theme is very consistent. It's the same. It's hard. It's hard on the heart. And so, I think some of this is approving of yourself is what I'm hearing. Like having certain requests that you would like spirit to answer, that you would like spirit to fulfill, but then also wanting that for yourself. Like not even wanting, but like actually believing that it can come in. There are some hurdles to overcome, and I feel like you kind of know that. We're being challenged on the emotional level specifically with some of these people or past karmas that are presenting themselves, where we can't, I'm not saying you have to be a hard ass, but be really mindful about who and what you're agreeing to this week. Not letting someone bamboozle you, into perceiving something in a way that they want you to perceive it. That's all that means. It's not about like, don't believe someone, but keep your antennas up, right? Our feelings, our emotions, our intuition, it tells us things for a reason. It doesn't have to be paranoia, oh, everybody's out to get me, but it is this value of really listening to your instincts and trying not to be overly empathetic, right? That's really the issue. If you consider yourself a sensitive person or you are loving, caring, nurturing, supportive, etc., this is a lot about not letting people take advantage of that. There's a lot of water beginning of the week. we have that full moon. It always heightens the emotions, and it is bringing out a lot of anxiety because people, situations that haven't really gotten on board with this change, it's bringing up a lot. We're starting to see these like realities of like, oh, this is how it's going to go 100%. And some of this is with the more difficult, the more challenging things that we are facing. It's hard not to be emotional. It's hard not to be stressed about why is all this happening? As we move towards midweek, like I was talking about, approving of self, approving of what you're going through, how things are happening. And I love the Queen of Wands in this position for you because she is someone who embraces herself, her authenticity, and people love it, right? People are attracted, they're drawn to it, they want to be a part of it. And that's what this is all about. Not everyone is going to approve of who we are. And part of our work right now is being able to detach from those people's situations, detach from the belief that it's going to be different because we have these Two of Wands and it just might not be, or we're seeing the disconnect. We're seeing the holes in the plan. We're seeing the holes in the relationship. And it's good. It's a huge reality or limelight being shed on who and what is like willing to work it out, to make changes, to be on board, and who's not. And I feel like, unfortunately with the full moons, they bring in a lot of harsh realities because the energy is so amplified. And there is some sadness this week. There's some sadness around the things that are changing, that are happening, that we do have to let go of, or we do have to bring more awareness around. The awareness is working in our favor, however, like I've been saying, the more aware we can be, the better we can understand how we can overcome some of these things that people's situations use against us, right? Because there are people coming in this week trying to connect, trying to present a certain front. Eight of Pentacles is like, hey, let's work it out. Let's do this together. Let's find a way. It is essentially refinement. We also have this Knight of Swords showing up, who is very intentional about the plans that he makes, right? So someone is coming in and it's going to be hard. I don't think that this is an easy thing for you to maybe figure out what the best way forward is. It is forcing you to revisit some things of the past, whether you're confronting people head on or this is just thoughts, beliefs about yourself, situations coming up that are shedding a light on those places that aren't really ready yet, that you're not really approving of quite yet. What I love, what I keep seeing is we keep getting clarity. We keep getting clearer and clearer and clearer on how we want things to go, or understanding those inner workings of the dynamics, not only self-awareness, but awareness of our environment. And I'm not saying you have to sit and think about this all day long, what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Yes, definitely give yourself time to process through some of this stuff because it is resurfacing. And it feels like, this week, over the next few weeks, this kind of month-ish, I don't know, we'll look at it the more we go. But that's kind of what I'm picking up intuitively. It's bringing up things so that we can readdress the things that either we were trying to sweep under the rug or that we really don't. It's not that we don't want to acknowledge it. It's just a little bit hard to do. It's hard to do. And this is coming at us in so many different ways, which can also be really difficult and overwhelming. So be playful. We've been getting this message sporadically over the past couple weeks, taking a break from all the hubbub. We don't have to constantly be little robots, growing, healing, whatever. I mean, yes, that's a huge focus of this channel, how to overcome those obstacles. So we're feeling better. We're more in alignment with self. One of the ways to do that is to have some fun, play, enjoy, enjoy the fruits of your labor, validate yourself. You don't even have to go out and do anything per se. You could just even talk to yourself about your successes, right? Where you've come from, how you have overcome. I feel like it's going to bring a little bit more of a like presence to what you're moving through. A lot of this stuff is like not conceptual, but like we're dealing with these things not only in the physical realm, but also in that energetic realm. And that's why we are being forced to revisit some of these problems and issues, because the patterning really isn't working in the same way anymore. It's not working towards our benefit. And we have to be very aware of that. Follow your joy, 100%. When we follow our joy, that's when we're quote unquote casting spells. You don't have to be into ritual, like, you know, just take it for what it is. Casting spells, manifesting is what I'll say. The more you're actually aligning yourself with what you're trying to manifest. And this goes back to, I feel like this is such a prominent energy for you this week about really approving of who you are, of what you want, finding ways to make peace with it, to accept it, because that is going to equip you with the tools necessary, the strength necessary to continue to fight. End of the week, you know, you look good. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's not just in the astrology, but I feel like this is more just like within self. We have to, like I said, make peace with what is happening. And you're definitely doing that through the hard work that you're bringing forward. But it also means that certain things need to be sacrificed. Certain things are leaving our energy. And we have to kind of be okay with that. Not just be okay with that, but understand it and then make peace with. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be redundant. And then make choices accordingly, I think is a better way to say it, which all requires a lot of strength. It's not easy, but I'm feeling more encouraged. Again, where we're getting tripped up is letting people, situations take advantage of our emotions, of our feelings, etc. And we need to have that awareness of being like, you know what, this is not really what I'm going after, or I don't really want to do this thing because it's not what I was thinking, right? And being brave enough to make those changes, even if they are with people, situations that you've been doing that thing for forever, right? Not always easy, but again, I'm encouraged with how this reading, how the energy is looking this week. It feels like forward momentum. We've really been craving that a lot with how tensely aspected Mars has been. So double thumbs. All right. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages here that resonated for you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Please know I'm sending that love and blessings back to you.